We've collected over $300 this week just from rolling options, and we've made some more purchases that are going to set us up for financial freedom in the very near future. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaiah, and in this video we're going to talk about all that we've accomplished so far this week. But if you're new to the channel, this is an income generating account where we sell cash secured puts, covered calls, do credit spreads, and finally collect dividends in order to generate that consistent weekly income. But before we go any further, let me know in the comments below what your favorite ETF is. I've had some awesome ones, and I always like to pick up new funds from everyone. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and let's jump right in. So, always want to go to my trade history, full transparency. As always, my favorite way to generate income is option selling, but always remember, guys, my trades are my opinions. They should never be taken as financial advice. So in my trade history here, you can see all the money we've collected just from rolling positions. It's about $308. When you sell a cash secured put, you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price. So all we did was agree to buy these funds that we wanted to own anyway, and we got paid to do so. Easiest $308 I've ever collected, and I do this every single week. Let's take a look at our dividends. When you combine options with dividends, you become an unstoppable force. So dividends. Tonight, we are going to have our ultra yielders. We have two ultra yielders in this account. They pay every single week, and that's TSYY and COYY. They're going to pay us around $260 tonight, which we've already used that money to buy one of my favorite assets. We'll talk about that in a minute here. But we also, later this week, will get paid our dividends from ULTY, MSTY, CONY, and YBIT. So we have still more money to come into the account from some dividends. On top of that, we've generated all that money from option selling. So let's take a look here now at some of our purchases that we made today. The Premium Generals, that is an exclusive group where I post private educational content, such as how to sell cash secured puts, how to sell covered calls, how to do credit spreads, debit spreads, the strangle method, all sorts of investing strategies, as well as private portfolio updates, how I use margin, any trade I make whenever I'm buying positions or rolling positions. The Premium Generals know first. On top of that, they get to be in every single video. So if you want to see your face, join us. It's $10 for the month. There's almost 100 videos in there, and by the time you're watching this, there probably will be 100. I post in there 4 to 6 times a week. So come check it out. We'd love to have you. And with that being said, let's get back into that video. Okay, we're back in the account here. The account value, as I said, $77,455. But as I say every video, does not matter as long as we are purchasing assets every single day that are going to set us up for success. So today's purchases, we only have a few of them. The Cornerstone Funds, CRF, CLM, I have those as stable monthly dividend payers. I think it's important to have funds that are going to provide a decent dividend. They pay a decent yield, and they offer a little bit more stability in the account, which is pretty critical for the success of this account. So we have CLM. I want to get 3,000 shares of this by the end of the year, and I purchased, let's see, 5 shares of these today. Brings me up to 1,635 shares. And then CRF, I made a couple purchases on this one today. I purchased 15 shares, which brings me up to 1,700 shares. And I also want to get this to 3,000 shares by the end of the year. So that's our end of 2026 goal. PDI, I want to get 1,000 shares by the end of March. We are at 834 shares, average cost of $17.77. And we purchased, how many shares today? We purchased 17 total shares today. As you can see, that's the money that we're going to collect, that 250, the 14 block. I did that with the premium group just a couple minutes ago. I made That purchase, that $254, is essentially the dividends that are hitting the account tonight from COYY and TSYY. We're taking income from ultra and less stable positions and putting them into more reliable monthly payers to set us up for more long-term success. So as I said, I have 834 shares. That means I am only 166 shares away from my 1,000 share goal total. Let me take a look at when I made my first purchase for PDI, just kind of historical evidence here. I made my first purchase. Looks like November 20th. I made my first purchase, 25 shares, and we have just continued to make consistent purchases almost every day up until January 6th here. We're at 834 shares. And once I get 1,000 shares of this fund, then I will add another one of my favorite dynamic pain funds. It's not a PIMCO dynamic fund, but it's another ETF. And that's why I asked in the comments, let me know your favorite. And I picked up GOF from someone that commented a while back. I am going to add that to this portfolio, and I might even add it to another one because I really liked the fund, what I read about it. So I love to pick up ideas from anyone. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what your favorite is. My only caveat of it is if it's only been paying dividends for less than a year, I'll be honest, I'm not really interested in that. And if it's a weekly payer, I'm not super interested in that either. I want a little bit more stability, and I just don't think the weekly payers offer much of that. And as for option positions, I have quite a few contracts still set to expire on 1/16, which is next Friday. And I might roll some of those positions this week. I don't know if I will or not. We've already collected over $300, which means we're going to be close to $650, $700 collected this week when it's all said and done. That's fantastic. No need to overtrade. So now that I think about it, there's a good chance I don't roll any more positions. So the rest of the week will just be me making my daily purchases to continue to grow the account. And with that said, guys, I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know in the comments below your favorite ETF. And then also, if you're willing to comment a second time, I'd also be willing to know or wanting to know if you're a growth investor or an income investor. I'm an income investor. I say that every video. But not everybody does the same thing, and it's always fun to learn other people's strategies. So with that said, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.